Hi everyone, I'm JD from Willowbound Journals, and in today's video I am making some journals. This is a wildflower journal collection. There are 4 in the collection. I made these out of a small envelope that I just fold in half, and for the cover I glued on a large sheet of vintage music paper and just folded over the edges, and on the inside, to line the inside cover, I used some book pages where they had these lovely illustrated pictures of flowers in black and white. I thought that looked really nice on the inside covers. Now I've already got my pages prepared, or most of them prepared, I believe. I think I do pull out a bit later some music paper. It's from a book that my nephew actually got for me for my Kris Kringle present last year for Christmas, and I've been loving using that music paper for various projects. So I used it for the cover of these journals, and I've also used it for a couple of the pages to go inside as well. So I like that that idea that the cover and pages are the same, and it just makes it a bit cohesive and that kind of thing. And then I've got a mixture of all different types of papers here. So we've got some coffee dyed paper, some cream paper, some vintage lined notebook paper, and then we have some book page from a vintage flower book titled How to Enjoy Garden Flowers. I thought, how lovely is that book title? I really want to do something with that cover later on, because it's got such a lovely blue cover with an embossed flower or tree on the front cover. Oh, my cat Keanu is coming to craft with me, keeping me company. I've got some craft paper represented in here too, with paper bags. So you have some top-loading interactive pocket pages in here. There's 2. One of them I keep nice and tall, so it's a large page. One of them I cut short, so it's a smaller page. Keanu just plonks himself right down on my desk. And yeah, I love how he will just want to be involved in everything I'm doing, whether it's making journals or filming videos. He's right here, front and center. So yeah, hope that you don't mind him making an appearance too. It does get a bit in the way. It messes up all my papers and kind of makes it a little tricky to film, but I just like having him around. So yeah, I also have a coffee dyed doily there, and I have some blue ledger paper, some sewn pocket pages. This one's really cool, from a docket book. I just really like the color of that, and I like the stamped number in the corner. We also have a gold gilded or foiled polka dot paper bag, which then gives you some side loading interactive pocket pages, which is lovely. And yeah, pages of different sizes as well. I cut some to be full size, some shorter, and just flipping back and forth throughout the pages or throughout the journal just to make sure it's in an arrangement that I like. Oh, and I did use a book page from the same for the pages that I used for the cover. The inside cover, I use that same book, and I like, again, that kind of symmetry. So you've got some music papers and some floral pages, the same as in the cover or on the cover. And yeah, a bit later on I will go to my drawer, the bottom drawer on the right hand side of my desk. That's where I keep my music paper, and so I do pull that out a bit later, and I fold that in half and trim it down a size, so I get 2 pages from one sheet of music paper, because they are smaller journals. So I like that I get to use both of those pages. Oh, and there's a bit of green vellum there as well, which is lovely. I don't ever mind putting green pages into botanical garden or floral journals, because the green can obviously represent leaves and stems and vegetation, trees, plants, that kind of thing. So I thought that was handy to have some green vellum. And then just layering up all these pages, keeping it nice and and interesting and engaging throughout. And yeah, I'm happy with how it turned out. I believe there are 20 pages in these journals, so that's a really nice amount of pages. They fold to give you, 40 when you fold it into a signature, and then that gives you 80 pages front and back. So yeah, I am just seeing how they lay inside there, if I should add more pages. So I do have some pages that I haven't included just yet, but I was like, oh yeah, that's not too chunky. I can still add more because I do tend to prefer streamlined journals. I don't really like journals that are chunky, and I do not like alligator mouth at all. And I know these journals will also have some ephemera in them, some handmade embellishments and things like that. So I didn't want it too thick. But yeah, so 20 pages, quite nice. Usually when I do my single signature journals, they, as a rough guideline, have 25 pages, give or take, maybe a few more or a few less. But with these smaller journals, I find I put a few less pages within the smaller journals because they seem to chunk up, even though they have the same amount of pages as my bigger single signature journals. Just because they're smaller covers, they feel chunkier and they look chunkier for some reason. So yeah, I tend with the smaller journals just to keep it a bit more manageable, a bit more streamlined, and how that works is just a few less pages. So, oh yeah, here I am going with the vintage music paper, just trimming it down a little bit to fit into these journals. This was a really large music book, so yeah, I love the large music papers. They're so wonderful to use in all different ways. And yeah, the first journal takes quite a while for me to figure out the arrangement of pages, but once I have this one down, the other three go much quicker because then I just use the first journal as a template. So yeah, as I keep making these journals, I thought I would read another little story for you that was speaking to me. And yeah, I do this occasionally on my channel. Just in some videos, I'll share anything that might be inspiring me or giving me an insight. And this is also like a little preview for the Creative Soul journal course, where in that course I literally will come on every day if something is inspiring me, and the difference is I do a face-to-face video for that. So I put the camera on, flip it around so you can see my face as I read the story or tell the lesson that I learned or share about whatever is on my mind. And that's like a regular thing that I'm doing for the Creative Soul journal course. So yeah, I thought I'd share this one on my channel as well, just in case it's something that speaks to you and is encouraging. And yeah, I'm encouraged in return because you guys, whenever I do this, I have gotten lovely comments from you saying how you appreciated me sharing the story and that it came at the right time for you and that kind of thing. So I know this is mostly a crafting channel, but I like that I also get to share some stories and things that are on my mind. So anyway, this story comes from a book of fables, and the chapter I'm reading, or the little snippet I'm reading, is called The Stag at the Spring. A stag, as he bent over a spring to drink, saw himself reflected in the water and stood still to admire the picture. "Ah," he said, "what a splendid pair of horns I have. If the rest of my body was as beautiful, I should be the handsomest animal alive. But I cannot bear to look at my thin legs. I really am ashamed of them." Just then he heard the angry roar of a lion and was off like the wind. The legs which he had despised carried him so swiftly that very soon the lion was left far behind. But as he went through a tangled wood, his splendid horns caught in the branches of a tree, and he was held a prisoner until the lion came up and made an end of him. So it was that after all, the horns which he had admired so much were the cause of his death. So when I read this story, I was like, oh, I am seeing so many things in here that I can relate to and resonate with, and maybe you can too. I see this as a bit of a parable or a little fable for appearance and body image and that kind of thing, which is something that a lot of especially Western women would struggle with, right? And because we can't really help it, because our Western culture with consumerism and, you know, all this stuff and celebrity culture and social media culture has this influence on us that is just inbuilt into our brains from the moment we are born, that there is a certain way, a certain ideal standard of beauty and a way to look, that kind of thing. And so sometimes, maybe like you, I can get down on my appearance, whether it's from aging or whether it's a body part I don't particularly like, or wrinkles or grey hairs or whatever it is. Even, you know, the shape of my nose or the colour of my skin or whatever it is, for different people it will be different things. And, you know, it's always that thing of, I love your curly hair. And then that person's like, I love your straight hair. We always want what we don't have, right? Or I love your red hair. And they're like, I love your brown hair. So anyway, this fable, I think for me, is just a reminder, yes, a reminder to appreciate what we have, that we are masterpieces just as we are. And, you know, it encourages me to always remember that I am made in God's image, and therefore I am a creative masterpiece. My body is a creative masterpiece, and there was no mistake in how it was made. God loves the color of my hair, the shape of my nose, and the length of my legs, and he likes every part of me the way it is. And his standard is not the standard of Western culture and social media or anything. His beauty standard is simply, I made you. And the glory of different body shapes and sizes and colors, that's delightful. It shouldn't be where you have to be homogenized and turned into one appearance. The diversity is what should be celebrated, not one ideal standard, but multiple types. So the other thing that really encouraged me is just knowing that it's you know, I have this phrase this year that I keep coming back to: what really matters. I want to live according to what really matters. Does it matter that I have grey hairs or wrinkles? No. What matters is the condition of my soul. That's all that matters. And am I maximizing the light within me? These are things that I chat about in the Creative Soul Journal course. There's another passage I read about maximizing the light within us and the condition of our soul, and doing a soul check-in. Those are the things that really matter. And what really matters as well, the fact that my body allows me to run, to walk, to dance, to swim, to hold a pen and write, to hold a paintbrush and paint, to hold a book and turn its pages, that I have eyes that can read, that I have ears that can hear music, that I have a mouth that can speak. Wow, like that's amazing. We are masterpieces, and I want to enjoy this body that allows me to do so much in the world, that allows me to engage with my surroundings and to take in all of the beauty around me. So when I put it like that, it's like I have nothing to complain about my body. Oh, who cares if you have wrinkles and saggy skin or cellulite or whatever it is? Who cares if the waistline is expanding, or if there is, you know, if you think your toes are ugly, or if you think your hands are too big? Whatever. Your hands are amazing because they allow you to play piano. They allow you to cook a meal, to nourish yourself. They allow you to plant a garden. They allow you to do amazing things, to hug someone. Your hands allow you to connect with people. So instead of seeing like, oh, look at those wrinkly old hands, or look at those deformed fingers, or look at those whatever, think how instead of like, those hands are amazing, and especially to appreciate what we have while we have it, and to use our body. Like I keep saying, use the things while you can, because they might lose their stickiness later, or they might fall apart later. Our bodies, yes, they will fall apart with time. So use them now, glory in them now while you have them. And, just appreciating what we have right now is amazing. And, sometimes it can be like, oh, I used to be so flexible and I've lost my flexibility. Doesn't matter. I can still walk. It's like I'm going to then walk. So instead of getting down on ourselves for these, like, you can find a million things to get down on, of course, a million things to complain about, a million things to focus on, but choose to focus on what you do have and what you can do, and the glory of it, like the miracle of it, the masterpiece of it. So it's just a shift of perspective. That's all it is. Nothing changes in us or in our situation or whatever. It's literally how you see things. And I always want to be a person who can see things from the building up and the encouragement and the affirming of our lives and of who we are. And instead of being bitter or resentful about the way things are, to know, yes, there are, I'm not going to have like a blind eye to the hardships too. Like, acknowledge the hardships. Absolutely, they're still there. This isn't like a Pollyanna perspective. This is still knowing that there's struggles and hardships, but choosing regardless to focus on what you can do and on what you have. Regardless of ability and appearance or whatever, we all have a light within us. We are all created in the image of God. We all have some capacity to shine our light, however that is. Maybe it isn't through the use of our hands, but then it's through our feet. Maybe it's not through the use of our ears, but it's through our eyes. Maybe it's not through the use of our mouth, but it's through the use of our written words. So if you're like, I can't speak, I believe you can, but then write. There's always something you can do. So instead of focusing on what you can't do, think about, well, what can I do? And I mean, I know this is also simple and it's nothing new or anything like that, but we are forgetful. I'm forgetful. These are things that I need to keep being reminded of all the time. And because it is so easy though, a shift of perspective, like, because it's harder for things to actually change physically or in our circumstances, but for our mind to change, that's not really that hard. In terms of like, I know what I can do to fill my mind up with things that can help me focus on the positive stuff and not the negative stuff. And that's an easy thing I can do. And things like reading this story or reading my Bible and chatting to God is always a good reminder to myself of, oh yeah, I really have nothing to complain about. I have use of my body. I have so much, I've been given so much, and I want to focus on that instead of what I don't have, and then have so much gratitude for that. There's another book that I'll share with you that I'll be sharing in Creative Soul as well, The Resilience Project. It's a book that I just finished reading, and I love what it says about gratitude. It talks about gratitude, empathy, and mindfulness. I think my favorite one was about gratitude though, and how if we have that attitude of gratitude, it sounds so corny, sounds so cliche, then that's the perspective shift. If we're grateful, you're not going to be grumpy and complaining and bitter and resentful, are you? Like, they can't really exist at the same time. So I'm so grateful for what I have. When I'm grateful for what I have, I'm not resentful for what I don't have then, or bitter about what I don't have. And I can be in phases. Earlier this year, I was getting a bit sad and down because I was thinking about all the things that I don't have. And then, I read that book and I'm like, oh yeah, we're fine. Everything is fine. I have got so much. But I know I'll forget again in the future, in the future, 10 times, in the next year, probably 100 times this year, I will start thinking or getting down on myself because I'm like, oh, I don't have this thing. I don't have that. I don't look like this, and I whatever it is, but I have the tool, the easy tool of like, remember gratitude. That's why I like coming up with my own quotes or phrases, because they're a way for me to quickly remember. And then it does wonders for my well-being, and I'm a better person in the world. I'm going to be a happier presence that gives something positive and makes a better impact on the world if I'm in that framework. And that's my aim as well. No matter how bad my life might be going, I never want to bring anyone else down with me. No matter how bad I'm feeling, I don't ever want to, take other people down with me. I still want to always bring out the good for other people. But I can do that better if I'm in a good frame of mind, if I am grateful. So yeah, I hope that was encouraging. And if you're interested in the Creative Soul course, I should say there are 2 spots remaining. So 17 people have signed up. And if you would like to, if anything in this, if this video is like, oh my gosh, all of this is speaking my language and this is stuff I need to hear and this is stuff I would like to keep hearing for the rest of the year, it's a 10-month course. Very self-paced, very slow-paced, where it is just, it fits in with your life, where we're going on a soul journey, very individualized, very personalized, where, I just kind of share these stories along with how I'm filling up my soul journal, but you will fill up your soul journal with your own stories. So all these stories that I'm sharing here, that's what I'm going to be putting into my soul journal, because that's my soul journey that I'm going on. And then the idea is that you will put into your soul journal whatever is happening in your own world, whatever you need to do to look after your soul this year. And some people might not even want to create alongside me. They're just there to hear the videos, to hear the stories, and to be encouraged by the things that I'm learning. And that's what I say, like, we learn from each other's stories. We don't have to go through things ourselves. We can learn from other people. And that can give us the insights rather than having to go through it ourselves. So I don't know if it's speaking to you at all. There are 2 spots left. Feel free to email me, and information is down below in the description box about the course as well if you want to check that out before you email me. But feel free to just talk to me about it, your thoughts about it if you're interested, or if you're like, sign me up. Yeah, contact me. So excited for that course. And me just sharing these stories is a way for me to let it sink into myself. So yes, I'm sharing this on my channel and in the Creative Soul course to hopefully encourage others, but it's also for me to encourage myself. And as with all my videos and everything that I share with Willow Bound Journals, I do just hope that it is uplifting and encouraging, whether it's through creativity or inspiration or a thought shared or a story read or a course I run or a creative workshop that I facilitate. That is my aim in life. I want to be someone who builds people up. And even as I'm saying this, I'm like, oh, okay, I don't know if I've ever articulated it in such a way like this. And this is something that I might want to document in my soul journal. That, no matter what is going on in my life, no matter how bad it is, I still want to build other people up in the midst of my own struggles. Because it would be easy. It would be easier just to be like, nope, everything's terrible and I'm not going to do anything, and I might want to even try to drag people down with me or whatever. But it's like, no. I don't want to do nothing. I definitely don't want to drag people down with me. No way. But I don't want to be passive either and just do nothing. I want to be active. Even in my lowest, darkest moments, I want to be active in bringing good into the world and encouraging people and building people up, because life is hard. Life is a struggle. So I want to do my part to help you. Every one of us struggles. So I want to do my part to help people by encouraging them in the midst of those struggles. Anyway, so back to this video. Where are we at? We are binding these journals. So I have just added a strip of masking tape down the spine of the journal covers. I like how it blends in, and also how you can kind of see through it. I love the sort of vintage tone to it. Then I'm grabbing my needle, tapestry needle, my bobby pins, my awl, and my embroidery thread. Those are my binding tools that I keep in the top right-hand drawer of my desk. And I'm doing the 3-hole pamphlet stitch, so poking it through the middle, then at the bottom and the top. And I have many tutorials on that if you are interested. I should also say what I did with the covers besides the music paper. So I did add a doily, a coffee dyed doily, and then I layered on top of that a botanical Polaroid, and that's from a kit in my Etsy shop. It's actually one of my favorite kits because it's so vibrant and colorful, and there's quite a lot of different cards with different colors, different types of flowers. And they make great covers. I've never used them for a cover before, I don't think, but they really do make a great feature for a cover. I usually just use them as journal cards where I tuck them into pockets or paper clip them in, and I will be doing that with some of the other botanical Polaroids in these journals. I think I've got 4 to go into each journal to be used as journal cards. But yeah, I chose the 4 for these covers specifically because they've got multiple colors and they look like wildflowers, like a field or a meadow of wildflowers. So gorgeous. One day I want to get a print for my gallery wall of rainbow wildflowers. I think that'll be so cool. And yeah, just double knotting the green thread. I chose the green because it reminds me of spring green and thought that fit well with the meadow of wildflowers. And yeah, I just really love the covers with the colourful wildflowers on them. They're stunning, and I'm really happy with this wildflower journal collection. So I think I'll leave this video there. I don't know how many more I need to bind, but thank you so much for watching, and feel free to let us know in the comments if that story resonated with you at all, and feel free to share any of how it resonated with you as you have done previously in other comments of videos. It's so lovely when people share their own experiences too, because then other people sometimes will read them and we'll comment on each other's comments, and maybe something you say uplifts someone else, or something you say resonates with someone else, and you know, oh wow, I'm not the only one who's felt that way, or I'm not the only one who has gone through that or seen things like that. So yeah, it's really wonderful. I love the power of stories to connect people, and I will gladly share more stories on my channel along with the crafting. I am at heart a writer. As much as I love crafting and making journals, I call myself first and foremost a writer. My first love in terms of hobbies is writing. So yeah, feel free to share also, like, what's your first love in terms of hobby? What's your favorite craft? Like, I do all types of creative things, all different mixed media, all different materials that I like to use, but my number one is writing. It's the way that I get to express myself the best. It's the most therapeutic, and I always hope to share more writing. I am looking forward to working on the sequel for the Lamp in Dark Places book, and the Creative Soul Journal course is actually going to be helping me a lot with working on that sequel. Anyway, enough chatter from me. I hope you enjoyed this video. I just love going deep, and that's another reason why I love the Creative Soul Journal course, because it's a place where I can go deep with other people who love going deep with me as well. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye guys. Huge special thank you to my beautiful patrons who supported me in the month of February. Thank you so much for believing in me and supporting what I do here on YouTube and with my journaling courses and creative workshops. You mean so much to me. If you would like to become a patron, there is a link down below in the description box, and that's where you get access to all my journal making videos from start to finish, plus behind the scenes updates and announcements. Depending on your tier, you also get access to every single one of my digital kits over on my Patreon, plus mail sent to you, whether it's a printable kit or a happy mail or a journal or a paper pack. Super exciting. If you want to become a member, just click the join button as well, and that lets you become a member of my YouTube channel.